Video narration FOBO 2 TPMS.
Oh, hello folks. Welcome back to the channel. So, shimmy along. Received this in the post today. A gentleman rang me to say, got a wee parcel for you. And I said, thank you very much. So, what is it? Well, it's a big bag with nothing in it, and it came from FedEx. But Lord and behold, we have the FOBO 2, or the FOBO Bike 2 TPMS for the motorcycle. Look at this. Now, I've been reading reviews on these here, and I am so excited. I'm going to tell you more about it very, very shortly. So I'm going to get a wee unboxing directly after this here, and then we're going to put it all together and see what it is. So there's a nice wee app and all that goes with this here, so I'm looking forward to it. I have to say thank you very much to a young gentleman who I emailed asking about this here, and he said he would send me one and I could do a wee review on it, which that's exactly what I'm going to do. And we're also going to get a code, which if you want to buy a set of these here, that you can get it with a discount as well. So stick by and we'll do a wee unboxing and then the setting up it as well. So I'm going to do it in 3 different videos anyway. So thank you. So this is your FOBO 2 bike. Let's get down to it.
Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. What I'm going to have to do is narrate over the top of the video. It turned out that the video was too low and you wouldn't have been able to make it out. So this is something that's been sent to me. It's the FOBO Bike 2 TPMS sensor system, and it's for either your any vehicle or for your motorcycle. Now it was sent to me. That's what it looks like there, and it comes in black and silver. So we're just going to open it all up and get a wee look at it to see what it actually looks like. Now I've talked about this on the page a few times, and obviously with me changing jobs I haven't been able to review this as well as I should have done. It's taken me a lot longer, but they posted it out to me. Came in a small bag. That's the little box that it comes in. They do come black and silver, and if you wanted it for your car you'd obviously have to order 2 sets of them. But the quality of the box and the quality of the items are very, very good. Very well impressed with them. Once I opened up the box, it comes with an instruction sheet, and it's not hard to follow. You will need to download the app. It gives you instructions of how to download the app, and it's very intuitive too. When I actually went through it, it was very, very easy to follow. So at the end of this video I'm going to have screenshots of all the pages which I have screenshotted and then put together at the end of the video, which will just show you all the different scenarios that you'll get when you open up the app and you try to set it up on your phone. But that's obviously further down, so you'll be able to pause the video and just use that as required, and just set it up for your bike. Now there's not really not much in the manual. That's the way manual come with it. It does explain everything that's in it, and that's exactly similar to the screenshots which I have at the end of this here. So by following this wee manual you'll be able to set up for your own bike. So this is the sensors themselves here. Now obviously I was a wee bit green, I had never opened the box and examined it, so I didn't really know what I was looking into. So as I open the box here, it really is the first time I've actually seen everything. So I'll try and make head or tail of the different things that you will need for it. So you've got a couple of little pins, clips. They are your locking nuts. And once I get a wee look at this, I'll be able to see what this is. They are your locking keys. So what I have found is that having your locking key, you're going to need, if you lose a locking key when you have this on your bike, when you need to get it off, when you're blowing your tyres up, if you can't find it, it's a bit of a nightmare. But hopefully, for me anyway, I've had to take the locking nuts off because it was losing air for some reason between my locking nut wouldn't go far enough down. It wouldn't go far enough down the stem of the valve, so because it wouldn't go down, there was a little bit of a problem, so that's why I took them off. So obviously these are your, you've got your dust caps. These valves, which I'm looking at now, that's only if you are replacing your tyre, your valve or whatever. That's what they are. So they're spare valves, so then you actually don't need to put them onto your bike now. That's something further down the line if you wanted to do. So if you take the valve out of a box, you just pull out the wee plastic cover, and then you're able to lock them on and just screw them straight onto your valve. So although I'm looking at this part here now, that's on my left hand, that is the locking key, and on my right hand that is obviously the valve. I haven't realised that that's what it is. Why I thought this all came that you just screwed straight onto the top of the valve that was on the bike, but that's not the case. So I'm too busy. You can see where it says lock and unlock, so it shows you which way that they go on to lock and unlock. Obviously the top of the valve, it has a silver cap on it. That's replaced by the FOBO Bike 2 valve, which was what I showed you just earlier on. It's not this here, this part at all. So these do come in the box, and they are of course spare, so you do not need these right away. But I'm that silly. I didn't honestly know. So we're just going to flick through the rest of the things that are in the box. Pardon me. And we'll be able to discuss them in detail as well. So now that I've actually had everything out of the box, I'll be able to explain them better. So what else do we have in the box? That is obviously a spare set of batteries, which come with it as well. So there's only 2 sensors, but there is batteries already in the sensors, and these are just a spare set of batteries. So that was a nice wee touch. I have to say that the box is well made. The sensors feel very really good quality. It does not say cheap in any form. So that's the nice solid box that it came in. And in my right hand, then you will see the sensors. So that's the 2 sensors. I'm going to cough here, so I am not. So I do apologise. So that's the wee sensor there, and that's the other one. So when you pull the wee tab out, yes, you can unscrew it, Skip, and you will see that there is a wee tab in it. That's obviously your battery as well. So, and they are waterproof, not water resistant, but waterproof, fully waterproof. And when you tighten them up, don't over tighten them. There is a seal on that there, so you don't want to be damaging the seal. But if you just finger tighten it up enough, that it'll not vibrate out, it'll be alright. So as I said, you get a spare set of batteries, and you also get a lock-and key with it as well. So you have 2 lock-and keys, one you can take in your saddlebags, and one that you can actually leave in your garage if you want. For the want of a better thing, if you do lose one of these here, you will need a spanner to take them off, because they are quite tight once they're you fit them onto your bike. Now my valve stems, as I said, they were a bit on the short side, so I had to leave off the locking nuts. But what you're more interested in is the sensors themselves, to make sure that that's all good. So if you screw off, obviously, the dust cap. Now, again, I didn't realise that was, I thought we had to fit the complete thing to the bike, the valve and the sensor, but it's not. They give you a spare set of valves, and that's the sensor that's going on. So that would make more sense for my bike. Obviously, it's threaded all the way down, whereas mine wasn't threaded all the way down. Right, I've got some frequently asked questions about the FOBO Bike 2, which I thought I would obviously just share with you. For any information, you go onto Google and just type in FOBO, which is Foxtrot Oscar Bravo Oscar Bike Bravo India Kilo Echo 2 into Google, and you'll be able to find out all the information that you need, either on YouTube as well. The FOBO Bike 2 is a smart tyre pressure monitoring system, which is TPMS, for every biker two-wheeler, using the latest Bluetooth 5 technology that works directly with your smart device using your Android 5 or iOS 12 or later. Now my iOS is 6 and it works well on it. It is 24/7 monitoring for your bike tyres. It has multiple modes of alerts, and it will alert you if it's slow or a fast leak detection. Yeah, you have multiple bike profiles monitoring with the app. There's group riding monitoring, and you have FOBO Share. You would need to read more into that there. There's no point in me covering on top of that. And it is, of course, remote monitoring. What device is the app compatible with? Well, it is compatible with devices, as I said, with the iOS 12, mine's a 6, or Android 5 or later. Do you need to manually reconnect the sensors? That's a definite no. Once your phone, you have the app downloaded and you go close to your bike, it will just automatically connect, and there's absolutely no fiddling around with it. It's really good, really good that way. There's no need. Sensors will also automatically connect back with your smartphone once you are in Bluetooth range. And the battery is one of the CR 1632s, and it will last up to a year, and you do have spare batteries in the box as well. It says, is it a replacement battery? Yes, they are. They're not rechargeable, so you need to replace them. And the battery is very easily replaced. You don't need any special tools. People are asking, is it obviously the battery covered by warranty? No batteries are. That would be silly. Is there a product warranty? Yes, there is. There's a product warranty of 1 year from the date of purchase. And the colours, as I explained, the colours that are in it are either black or silver, so you have a preference over that as well. And can the FOBO Bike 2 sensor detect fast or slow leak? Yes, it can detect both. If you get an instant blow, it will go down, but I think you'll know that anyway, rather than the sensor telling you. But it's good if you get a slow puncher. How many levels of alerts are there? FOBO Bike 2 have 3 levels of alerts of a pressure drop. Is it theft proof? Sensors are tied to the FOBO account after installation. They are not reusable or transferable without the owner releasing them from his or her FOBO account. So once you register that will be tied to you. So even if somebody was to steal it off your bike, they can't use it. It's pointless. So if they don't know what they're stealing, then shame on them. But if they're stealing it for a particular reason or whatever, all they're doing is they're doing themselves out of it and doing you out of it as well. So they're going to be no good to anybody. The FOBO Bike 2 package comes with anti-theft lock nuts and a special wrench, the plastic one which I showed you. The anti-theft lock-in system will lock the sensor against others and stop others from unscrewing it. Will it fit your bike? Absolutely. You shouldn't have any problem. And if you have any doubt, you should email FOBO and they should be able to sort that out for you. Is the sensor waterproof? Yes, it is waterproof IP57, so you have no worries about that at all. And will the FOBO app run in the background and alert me of low pressures while Google Map is on the screen or play music also? The answer would be yes to that. You don't have any problem with that as well. Some of the other things that they would probably ask you is the app free of charge to download? Yes, it is. Just go on to Google Play or go on to the App Store and you should be able to get them. There's no hidden charges absolutely at all. And as you can see on screen there, I'm fiddling around here trying to figure out what way it all works, it comes together. But if I haven't put the locking nut on, the locking nut goes below that. So you have to screw that down onto it, and that's when the wrench then works. So come on, Skippy, get it all going. That's the locking nut. So the locking nut needs to go on first. Then you can put your sensor on top of that. What is the maximum pressure for the FOBO Bike 2 sensor that can measure? It can measure. The sensor can measure up to a maximum of 116 psi. That's 800 kPa. So now, as you're looking on screen there, you will see that I'm still trying to figure out how this works. But obviously, yes, that's how it's going to work. So you screw it all the way down. The locking nut will screw it as far down as possible, and then you'll screw the sensor down. Once you screw the sensor down to meet it, then it won't tighten up anymore. You don't want to over tighten it. You then screw the locking nut up to it. You put the wrench on it and you nip the wrench up, and that there will obviously be able to tighten it for you. So I'm looking very confused, I have to say. But this is the first time I've ever seen a sensor system, so it wasn't that it was awkward, it was the fact that I just had no idea what I was doing. I'm still trying to figure it out. I've got it, but I just haven't realised that I've got it. So the sensor, you can see, has the locking nut already on it, and that just fits onto it, and by turning that, it'll show you which direction you turn it. It just needs to nip up, and that will lock it onto your bike. My valve stems weren't threaded all the way down, so whenever I put on the locking nut, it was actually too far up and I wasn't making a proper seal, so I took the locking nuts offline. So if anybody steals them, then not much I can really do about it. But there you go, I'm never that far away from my bike anyway. So the valve that I'm trying to put it on there, as I'm trying to show, it doesn't go down too far, but honestly it does. You can put the locking nut on it if you wish, or leave the locking nut off it. It's really your choice. If I want to put air in my tyre, I want to make sure that I can get at my valve. So that's the locking nut there. You just screw that all the way back. Now it's me screwing it up tight to it, and then when you put the lock and key on it, just give it a wee nip, and then that will be it tight onto the valve. So it's locking the valve onto the stem of the tyre. So I really was confused, but once you put them onto your bikes or whatever, you will understand a lot better just how well they do work and how well they do fit. Overall, I mean, I was totally impressed with the quality of these FOBO Bike 2 sensors, and even when you have it on the app, and just seeing how it operates, it's very good. Now there was a wee problem with mine later on, and obviously when tyres increase in pressure, that it was sending me a warning as well, which I haven't really figured out how to stop. Obviously when your tyres get warm, they increase pressure. So I figured out that obviously the locking nut, screwing it back, will allow the sensor then to come off, which is not such a bad thing, because it sort of threw me there for a wee bit. So now that I've sort of figured that out, that's obviously a good thing. So we're going back into some of the bits and pieces that I actually was able to download from the FOBO Bike site. But I think I'll cut out the rest of that there, because you're not going to really I've covered everything that I need to cover on it. If you're riding along in your bike and you do get a warning from the sensor, whether you're on a call or playing music or listening to your maps, you'll get an audible alert through your comms to let you know, and your phone, if it's in front of you, you'll see it flashing up as well. Now, after speaking to FOBO Bike 2, Samir, they've said that anybody that wants to buy a set of these here, they will offer a 14-day discount code. So in 14 days from this, the video goes live, they will, once I send it to them, then they will send me a discount code, and then obviously, and then I let you know. So once it goes onto the page, then you have the 14 days that if you do want to get these, to purchase them then from themselves, or whatever, from FOBO Bike 2 themselves. So that'll all be coming very, very shortly anyway. I'll let you know more about it. So I'm going to get the app out now, and then we're going to go through the app in detail. So all I can say is thanks for watching. I'm really, really sorry that it is taking so long, but just scroll through the video to the parts that you do want to see. Bye. Right, I've downloaded the app, and now I'm actually just going to set up the sensors. So on the sensors themselves, you screw them off. As I said, you only finger tight, they don't need to be very tight. As you screw these off, I haven't taken the tab out yet, you will see the wee red sealing ring. Now that obviously keeps it watertight, so you don't want to over tighten that. Don't be sticking screwdrivers into it and stuff like that, because you'll break the seal. So the little tab is what's going to make these work. So take the tab out and you can throw that away. As you can see, that's the battery and the components that make the TPMS sensors work. So the flat part of the battery, which will probably be the negative side, and the plus side goes down. Just check your battery before you actually do that. Screw them back on. Just finger tighten them. Sorry, they don't need to over tighten them. And then that's your sensor ready to go on to the top of the bike. So both done. So we're going to move on to the garage now and see if we can get these fitted to the bike. Well, welcome to the garage. So it was only when I came out that I realised that these, of course, were the valves. These are brand new valves, and I'm sure you're screaming at me calling me a dope. So obviously, when I come out and I realised that they're what exactly these are, then it sort of makes more sense. So they'll do, if you're getting new tyres put on, you can give them to whoever's put them on, they can put them in. So this is going to be a fairly easy job, because all I need to do now is put the sensors on the front and the back wheel and use the locking nut. I did use the locking nut. I checked one, obviously, to make sure everything was going to fit here. So here we go. So we're getting down here. It tells you you've got to fit the rear tyre first. So I'm taking off the old dust cap. I'm going to check the tyre pressure to make, obviously, with the Tiger, it's 39 at the rear and 32 at the front. We need to get the tyre pressures correct before we actually start putting the sensors on them. So with the fact that I know now that the tyre pressures on it, or what the tyre pressures are, then I can get the set this when the sensors go on. It'll be the right pressure. So it turns out that the pressure was low on the tyres, and when I tried to start the bike, the battery was flat. So I decided that I was going to jump start the bike here. So I'm going to cut all this bit out, but that's what I had to do. So I had to jump start the bike. I know some people said I shouldn't do it, and there's all sorts of reasons why I shouldn't do it, and there's ways of doing it. I have no idea. I'm just going to try and jump the car, or jump the bike anyway. So bear with me. I'll be back in a minute. Right, battery was flat, tyres needed air, nose was on it, it's freezing, there's a high wind. I've got the bike going, I've got the tyre pressure set, and now I'm just going to rev the bike before I actually do the GPS sensors. So bear with me. Let's get the sound of the tram going. How could you not like that? Right, under the TPMS sensors from FOBO Bike 2. Right, certainly time to get the sensors onto the bike. So the longer stem that comes with the sensor, it makes more sense, obviously, to if you need them to have them fitted. But I had right angle ones on, so I just fitted the sensor straight on. Now I've been using these here dust caps. They were sent to me from a company in China. They don't particularly work very well. Even when you get low pressure, they don't show up. They're supposed to go red, but they don't. But the good thing about them was they kept my valves clean, so they did do a great job that way, I have to say. So bringing the camera a wee bit closer, this is obviously the lock nut. You slip the lock nut onto your stem, screw it up. My stem was not threaded all the way back, so it did create problems for me later on. I've removed the tab from the battery, screwing it on to the stem. It's very easy done, as you can see, straightforward. Just nip it up with my hands, and then I screw the locking nut up to the valve. But one of the problems, as I said, because my stem wasn't threaded all the way back, I didn't have far to go when I put on the valve, and it does show you which way to lock and unlock the locking nut on it. So that's handy if you're in doubt. The fact that what I did have to do was that eventually I did take off the locking nut and just put the valve on and kept the valve on, and I haven't been losing any pressure since I've done that. So it was just work to see what works for you, but you will need to carry that locking key with you if you do decide to use the locking nut with it that comes with it. All in all, they are a brilliant piece of kit, and it's nice to know. Obviously I check my air pressure like everybody else. You'd be a fool not to. A couple of pounds of pressure of a difference will make all the difference to your riding. I was losing a lot of pressure, but it was down to the locking nut wouldn't go back far enough to allow the sensor to make a good seal with the top of my valve. So that's for the front and that's for the back. So it tells you exactly on the app. So when you do go onto the app, what I'm going to do is I'm going to screen record this, what you're watching on the video now, and I'm going to add that in. So what I'm actually doing now, I'm going to keep the volume on, but I'm going to put text across the bottom of the screen. So while I'm screen recording, it's saying you have to install the sensor onto the rear tyre position, touch sensor with the phone, and then press proceed.
The sensors are already on.
Yeah, the sensor is on, but as it turned out, I had to take the sensor off and then reinstall it again for it to actually work.
I don't know if this is the right one. Proceed. Installing sensor RT scanning.
It said it's scanning for it.
It says scanning. It's moving up. Undetectable.
So it's saying it's undetectable. So I had to screw this off, but because I've actually used the locking nut on it, it won't just come off right away. So this could be one of the things that I was trying to point out, that if you were out and you forgot the key, you would be kind of snookered. So it's a good idea. It's your choice what to do, whether you keep a locking nut on it or take a locking nut off it. It's certainly nothing to do with the battery. The batteries are brand new batteries in it. So as you see, I tried to take that off and it wouldn't come off. So I definitely need to get the locking key to nip that back off, so I can get it all nicely loosened and then take the sensor off. But I suppose at the same time, when I keep taking these on and off, I'm probably losing a bit of pressure, which sort of turns that out when you look at the phone later on.
This time I'm not going to lock it.
So this time I didn't lock I just screwed it back on by hand and clicked the test for it. It says it's scanning.
Checking sensor detail.
And up it comes.
Oh. That one's on.
It says that one's on.
I'll tighten it in a second. So
and what I'm saying is I'm going to tighten the lock nut to it in a second. So now it's time to go to the front. So although I was using a little gauge to tell me that it has the exact tyre pressure for the front and the rear, I suppose with taking these valves on and off each time, I was losing a little bit of pressure. So taking the locking nut, placing the locking nut on this here, and screwing it back as far as you can go with it on your valve stem. The battery, I've taken the tab out of that one as well. Although it doesn't say which is the front or the rear on the FOBO Bike 2 sensors. Obviously, as soon as you put a sensor on, it just will register to which one it is. Obviously, it's telling you to do the back one first. So putting the phone back up to it, so it touches, and then once you hit install, so it's checking the sensor, and there it's popped up with 31.8. And just OK it to get rid of that. No, the tyre pressures would only be down, although I'm talking about saying that they are down, but they would be down because I'm taking the gauges on and off, so I'm going to be losing a bit of pressure, so that's understandable. It's nothing to do with the Bike 2, the FOBO Bike 2 sensors. They are absolutely spot on.
And as you can see on the bottom of them,
and you can see where it, at the bottom of the phone it monitors it, but when you're in the app, what you can do is you can actually set it. I've set it between 29 or 28 and 34, whatever it is. You should actually set it for the exact what you need, so it won't go over. It won't go over the pressures that you require. Obviously, if it goes all the way up to 34, I get a warning. So just set it for the exact pressure. That's what I do believe. Whether that's correct or not, I don't know. But just set it for the correct pressure, what it's supposed to be, and leave it at that.
It really feels like a quality product.
The one thing that I will say about the FOBO Bike 2 TPMS sensors, they are an absolute quality piece of equipment, and I would recommend them. I do think it's something that is well worthwhile having.
They are brilliant.
And I'm even saying in the video that it's brilliant. I'm just voicing over because the voice levels are very low, and I do apologise for that.
If you have any comments, drop them in the YouTube.
Yeah, and if you have any comments about the FOBO 2, drop them on the YouTube channel. It makes the YouTube channel work better, and it makes them see that people are coming to the channel, and then that obviously gets it circulated a bit better. Whereas if you ask me questions on the BARNI site, on the Facebook page, it's not helping grow the channel. So it does help grow the channel. Thank you. So these are some of the screenshots which I had taken. That's the box it came in. This is the side of the box. It is very easy to fit them to your bike, and as long as you're in Bluetooth range, you get 24-hour monitoring. So this is the first page when you open the app, and it was asking you, do you want to use the Bluetooth? Yes. Connect to your local network. Would you like to send notifications? Yes, you will allow that. Sign in with your email or whichever. Just create an account. It requires your permission to enable location services. Yes, you just OK. Yes. If something goes wrong, yes. Select your bike, left hand side, not your bicycle. Put in your differences there so you can see where it's minimum and maximum. Just put it at 29 and 29, if that's our 28, whatever yours is. I had 29.34, so that's why I had there's a big discrepancy in mine. And you put in your recommended pressures. It'll ask you things like your service, so it'll remind you about your service and when you need to you can have a service alert. Pick the type of bike you have. I just put in. So this is installing the sensors, which you see me doing in the video. So just proceed with that.